they were doing, I was doing my house, they were doing their house. So what makes mine go up? They should be, the assessor value should be percentage across the board for everybody. How do you do that for every single house? I don't understand. Building, garage, building, yeah. Because there's one more thing listed there. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Assessor value, one more thing listed. No, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. Yeah, I know Durst. I know, I understand Durst. I know Google the Durst. Totally agree with the Durst. It's the same thing. Well, I mean, I thought 28,000 years ago. So I get that.
You know, so I mean, but just in a couple of years ago, $2,000 probably you remember the time you get it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, let me just show you real quick here, because I got it out. One is improvement value, and you see right now 9,000. I was looking at my hand. My improvement value, I ain't done anything to it, and you can see my assessor value. Improvement value. So I'm just it's concerning because my sister-in-law's house is the same price. Same time. I'll talk to you about it. Sure. Sure. Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. How you doing?
Great. How about you?
Good. Very good.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. In just a moment, we ask you to stand for a moment of silence. Then after that moment of silence, we're going to ask Commissioner Mark Saxon to lead us in the pledge. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Oconee County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is Tuesday, June 16th. We are limiting the occupancy of this room to 50 people. If you are joining us virtually, hopefully you're using your computer or smart device. To comment or ask a question during the public comment portions of the meeting, please use a raise hand feature in Zoom. From a computer, click on Participants, and at the bottom of the screen, then click on Raise Hand. And from your mobile device, tap on the Raise Hand button at the bottom of the screen. Just for an update on Commissioner Horton. Commissioner Horton underwent a planned corrective heart surgery on this morning. The procedure was successful, and Commissioner Horton is resting comfortably. He will be absent from several upcoming county meetings as he recovers from the surgery, but looks forward to returning to full duties in the coming weeks. So keep Chuck in your prayers as he goes through this recovery period. First item of business will be to approve the agenda.
I make a motion we approve.
Second. A motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. The first item is the public hearing on the FY2021 proposed budget, and we'll ask Wes to come up for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, commissioners and citizens of Oconee County. I'm pleased to come before you tonight and present your FY21 budget. The fiscal year 21 budget is sustainable and balanced. We've taken a conservative approach due to the uncertainty and current environment that we're operating in. The budget is driven by the mission statement and our strategic goals: smart government, smart growth, smart infrastructure, and excellent quality of life. We want to establish these operating practices that meet the needs of our present generation without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Our proposed budget for the general fund is $31,247,892, and then our total proposed budget, which includes the general fund, the SPLOS, the special revenue, and the enterprise fund, or the Water Resources Department, is $53,315,602. Our revenue summary, we have increasing property value situation in Oconee County. Gross digest is trending upward. It's currently at $2.67 billion. There's no millage rate growth in this budget. We also anticipate decreased sales tax revenue resulting from COVID-19. We believe that this budget will maintain the financial strength and stability of Oconee County through its fund balance and through its millage rate. There's no fund balance used to balance this upcoming budget. This is a pie chart of our general fund revenues. Again, the general fund shows the breakdown of the different tax revenue sources. And so I'll cover them briefly. Property taxes is the majority of it, is 53%, largest slice of that pie chart. Local option sales tax at 20%, charges for services at 9%, other taxes such as insurance premium, financial institution, cable, franchise, and real estate taxes at 11%. License and permits at 2%, grants at 3%, fines and forfeitures at 1%, and investment sales at 1%. You can see to your right the difference in the last FY20 revenues and the proposed FY21 revenues. Those differences are 2.4% increase from 20 to 21. Goal-based expenditures, no additional personnel in the FY21 budget. Our healthcare costs are continued to increase, and as we know, nationally, healthcare costs are rising. This budget has streamlined the cost and offers more choices and more options for employees, and a negotiated 5% net increase is what we're looking at for FY21. There, again, I mentioned no fund balance usage, so that means we're not pulling out of any previous year's funds or our rainy day fund to balance the budget. It stands on its own merit with the revenues that are projected to come in. And the budget is long-term, has sustainability and resiliency, being fiscally sound and built for the long haul. There we go. Thank you. All right. Goal-based expenditures again. Our transportation infrastructure remains a focus in FY21 through our continued road maintenance and improvements, specifically for paved streets and asphalt. Our road maintenance repair, we've added an additional $530,000 for that out of the general fund. We went many years without having that, and so that's much needed. Also, our LMIG program, which is a state grant, $693,000, and then SPLOS, $1.6 million, and that's a total of $2.83 million for our infrastructure improvements in our transportation areas and road maintenance. Anticipated projects in the FY21 budget include utilizing fund balance for roundabouts at Malcolm Bridge Road, Snows Mill Road, and Ray's Church Road, and plans are in place for a Loop 10 intersection improvement. I'll have a slide for that later that I'll go in a little more detail. In our quest to improve fire readiness, the FY21 budget includes state-of-the-art fire equipment and a new fire engine. These items will be purchased using SPLOS funds. Our fleet maintenance replacement program, all vehicles and equipment are replaced based on mileage, equipment hours, and overall general condition. Phase replacement systems are updated quarterly, which keeps our fleet healthier than it's ever Okay, next pie chart here, next slide is our general fund expenditures. And we'll talk about those here. Overall, our expenditures went up $740,000 from the previous fiscal year. That balances to that total I talked about, $31,247,892. That's a 2.43% increase from last year. Those increases are primarily in the areas of public safety. The mobile data terminal upgrades are the MDTs. We're upgrading those. And in the area of public works, roadside mowing and solid waste. And then also in the area of elections, which is state mandated initiatives for the election process. So that's the gist of the expenditure increase. The pie chart breaks down the percentage wise where all those, what the percentage breakdown is of the overall budget. I just mainly talked about the increase from FY20 to FY21. Okay. FY21 proposed total revenue. So we've talked about the general fund and the $31 million that it takes to run the general operations. Now we're going to talk about the overall operations. And so that would, at the bottom line on that is $52,633,138. That's a combination of your, for revenue, your property tax at 16.4, your water sewer at 10.2. You have your sales tax in there in the special project area at 8.6, your local sales tax option at 6.3. Overall, all those sources of revenue, and you're talking about using the general fund, SPLOST, and special revenue at $52,633,138. Proposed total expenditures overall, $53,315,602. Our FY20 total expenditures were $52,121,112,905. So an increase of about 2.3% from FY20 to FY21. And those are projects that are planned for the overall expenditures. Some of the expenditures that we'll be making on the SPLOST, I'll go into in a moment with the various projects that are planned. And then on our capital budget side, fleet vehicles, a Caterpillar excavator, 2 servers, and an aerial flyover. Okay, this is the fund balance allocation. So these projects are funded out of our fund balance, our existing fund balance. You can see at the bottom, our estimated fund balance remains at about $11,225,000, and that's estimated as of 6/30. So the assigned fund balance anticipated projects for the upcoming fiscal year are the Malcolm Bridge Roundabout estimated at 561, SR 53 Soes Mill intersection at 250. And that's for the engineering. SR 53 Raised Church 250. We're also getting some funding from other sources as well as a state. Some of those are state routes. Mars Hill Phase 2, 375. Loop 10 at Epps Bridge, 200,000. The LMIG program, that's state grant, that's 683,394. And then we have our animal services renovation. That is a joint project with 2 funding sources. So that was approved in the 2015 referendum. And in order to get a complete project and a final number, we're going to have to put in some from the general fund. So that is 206,843, and that contract has been vetted out, and very happy with that outcome. Non-spendable prepaids are 250. And then our unassigned fund balance reserve, which is $8,448,904. So those are the anticipated projects that are coming out of assigned fund balance. Okay. The reserve, after all that's 27% of the general operating budget, which is 7% higher than the state recommends. So very healthy budget is presented, a conservative budget. All the capital purchases of this budget have been requested to be held off till January 1st as an additional measure. And there are no new personnel hires or any pay raises in this budget. And so it's a very conservative budget, no mill rate, no fund balance use either. So if there are any questions, this will be available at the BOC reception desk. It's also been posted on our county website for several weeks. The next budget will be discussed for adoption on June 30th. And if there are any questions that anyone has at this time, I'd be glad to answer them or comments.
Any commissioner have any questions of Wes?
I mean,
No, sir. All right, thank you. If you're joining us virtually, you can go ahead and use the raise hand feature if you like. We'll go ahead and open up the microphone to anybody in the audience who'd like to speak at this time.
I am Vicki Suter, and I have a brief comment. I did send in some long list of things, but I've narrowed it down. So, the fecal bacterial levels are so high as to place most major streams in our county on the EPD list of impaired streams for not meeting the standards for fishing, much less swimming. This includes segments of Calls Creek, Barber Creek, McNutt Creek, and the Middle Oconee River, posing potential health threats or hazards for years. Oconee County Impaired Waters Annual Evaluation to the EPD has stated, the BMPs for public education can be targeted more specifically to address the source of impairment, fecal coliform, in order to try to further reduce the pollutant. It is possible that failing septic tanks could be a contributor. In the future, proper care and maintenance of septic systems will be included in our public educational outreach. In addition, a local environmental group has expressed interest in working with the county to implement educational outreach programs to address stream pollutants, especially the issue of septic systems. As the chair of this local environmental group, Oconee Waters, I appreciate Water Resources, the Environmental Health Department, and Stormwater Management for trying to help us address this ongoing problem as best they can. But I would like to see the county budget address the need for, 1, increased support and funding for improved records with a searchable database for researching problem areas and making maps of those areas. There are no maps to indicate where septics near water sources are located. 2, increased monitoring efforts of streams and funds for these efforts. 3, support and funding for educational initiatives to address stormwater runoff and septic maintenance. Oconee County Stormwater and Oconee County Water Resources partnered with Oconee Waters to start an educational program targeting second graders. The Protect Our Water program with Oko, the superhero otter. The UON Oconee Waters provided major funding through a grant and hundreds of volunteer hours to establish the program. Due to COVID-19 and school closings, we will relaunch this program this fall. Although Oconee Waters will continue to help with volunteers, the grant will be ending, and Oconee County needs to sustain this program and even extend it and encourage the addition of topics such as septic maintenance for future educational outreach. And I would appreciate that becoming more emphasized either in this budget or through other means. It's definitely a need that's been going on for years. We're starting to see some headway on this, and we would like to continue, but like I said, we'll do our best to volunteer and help in any way we can, but the sustainability is really going to be up to the county to fund. And I will leave these here. These are some of the logo stickers. These were actually produced by graphic students at North Oconee County High School. Oko's Cape was actually made by 4th graders. And these are the backpacks that have the books in them, the lesson plans for teachers, as well as take-home activities for the kids. We also are including now the option that teachers want to just keep it in the classroom and use there. Sure, whatever works for them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks you too.
Good evening. My name is Justin Conrad. I'm here with a small group from the Lane Creek neighborhood, but I'm actually representing 118 homes in that neighborhood that unfortunately do not have access to high-speed internet. I'm sure you're all well aware of the issue, but I just wanted to let you know some of the things that have been going on, especially over the last few months, once COVID started and the lockdown started. Currently, the infrastructure in our neighborhood, in our part of the neighborhood, is 1990s era DSL. We get, if you're lucky, 1.5, 2 Mbps. And I say if you're lucky because many of our neighbors in our part of the neighborhood don't even have access to that. If you move into the neighborhood, AT&T is not allowing new customers to join the DSL, allegedly because of capacity issues. So some of our neighbors don't even have access to the infrastructure that's actually in the ground. My family and I, we moved here about a year ago from North Carolina. We were very excited to move into the neighborhood. Had we known that this issue existed, we probably would not have made the same decision. It seems kind of silly trying to tell somebody who has never experienced this issue before what it's like. And I would not have really recognized the gravity of the situation, how it can affect all aspects of your life if I had not experienced it. After we moved here, I quickly learned that I could not work from home any longer. My wife has a small online business and her revenues declined dramatically once we moved here. We brought with us from where we moved our security company. We transferred our service and they refused to install the doorbell camera and security systems that we had had at our previous home because the internet was so unreliable and unworkable. But we found out that our issues really pale in comparison to a lot of the issues that our neighbors are experiencing. One of our elderly neighbors, she lives alone. She has a heart device that uploads information to an external monitoring agency, and that is not reliable. She experiences delays. She often has to manually push the information when she wakes up in the morning, even though it should probably be transmitting that information on a regular basis. We have a number of teachers in the neighborhood that work at the high schools, the middle schools, the elementary schools. During COVID, during the lockdown, they have been often unable to interface with their students, unable to hold the sort of activities and curriculum events that they had planned to do. The students in our neighborhood have faced incredible difficulty completing assignments, engaging in these sort of online activities. We have multiple neighbors that have told me personally that they spend 4, 5, 6 hours a day sitting in the parking lot at Oconee High so that they can use the Wi-Fi, the free Wi-Fi at the high school there, because they can't do their work at home. Our neighbors' businesses have suffered. Productivity has fallen through the floor. We have homes that sit on the market longer than they should, and multiple contracts have fallen through because more than one buyer has discovered this particular issue and decided that they don't want to live in the neighborhood. And I mentioned that our security company would not install those features for us. We're not the only ones. We have several neighbors that have been unable to use their security systems, or their security companies would not install the systems for them. We heard a week or two ago there was an incident in the Boulder Springs neighborhood where somebody was allegedly terrorizing a family in the middle of the night. Luckily, they had security footage. I don't know if they have identified who the person was, but they have security footage of what happened. We don't even have that luxury where we live. I have here pages of emails and testimonials from our neighbors of all the sorts of issues that they've been experiencing, and which have been exacerbated in the last few months with this move to all online everything. This is obviously not sustainable on its own, but I think that if we had another lockdown, that many of our neighbors would probably reach their breaking point. I don't know a lot about what the county's plans are. I've only sort of heard rumors that you all are interested. Commissioner Daniel actually had mentioned that you had met and we're in discussions about a contract regarding the installation of a high-speed infrastructure loop in the county. And so we are just here tonight to urge you to continue on that path, if that is in fact the path that the county is pursuing, and to encourage you to make it as high a priority as possible. I understand that there are a lot of difficult budget decisions that need to be made this year, more difficult than usual. But this is an issue that affects the safety and the health and the livelihood of our neighbors, of 118 homes in Lane Creek. And I know that there are other neighborhoods in the county that experience similar issues as we do. So I thank you for your time and for hearing us out tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? All right, very good. We'll go ahead and close the public. Do we have anybody online for raised hand? We'll go ahead and close the public comment section. I will say on the internet that we are pursuing that. We're making a lot of headway. We recognize this is a big problem coming into office in 2017. We've tried different steps in trying to get the incumbent providers to up their game. There's a lot of examples of failure where governments have got in and tried to do something similar. So we're being very, very careful. But we've made a lot of progress over the last 3 months, and hopefully we can bring you some good news over the next few months to come. So it is a high priority. It's not just your neighborhood. We're talking, every one of us sitting up here has the same problem, and we all live in different areas of the county. So we're with you on trying to get it fixed. All right, next item will be discuss and consider the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia Interlocal Risk Management Agency Property and Liability Proposal for 2021. This is one of our normal processes. We have to approve this dollar amount. The overall quote for coverage of the entire county is $281,359. Based on our safety credit, we get a $14,068 credit. And then since we're part of ACCG and a member of the interlocal property and liability program, we also received a $34,913 dividend back for participating in that program. So our net contributions for the FY21 is $232,378. Any questions from commissioners?
No.
Okay. Any public comment from anybody? Anybody virtually? All right, with that, we'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion we approve the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia Interlocal Risk Management Agency, IRMA, Property and Liability Proposal for 2021, not to exceed $232,378.
Second. We have a motion second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Our next item is discuss and consider a contract with National Emergency Medical Services for the purchase of a chest compression device. So you noticed in our, hopefully later this year, we'll be able to buy 2 of these devices for put in our rescue trucks. They perform a CPR manual with a device versus somebody having to do compressions. We've got to talking with National EMS, who is our provider, and we came up with an agreement where we'll buy one and they'll buy another to put on the 2 ambulances that are stationed in Oconee County. So by the end of the year, hopefully we'll have 4 devices in the county. So what we've agreed to is to provide 1/2 funding for the purchase of 2 Lucas 3 devices. The total amount of the contract is $15,349.58. National commits to having these on the ambulances that are assigned to Oconee County, and also taking care of all the maintenance and upkeep of it. And then they'll have to let us know at any point in time that they don't want to continue using that piece of equipment. Any questions on this from Commissioner?
No.
Any public comment? Anybody from virtual? Very good. With that, we'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the chest compression device as stated.
I second.
Okay, we got a motion and second. Any discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Before we call for an adjournment, I just want to announce that on Tuesday, June 23rd at 7 o'clock at the community room at Oconee County Veterans Park, we'll have a town hall meeting. The main discussion point will be road improvements for Malcolm Bridge Road. The meeting will be open for both virtual attendance as well as in-person attendance with a maximum of 50 people per Governor Kemp's executive order. So again, 7 o'clock, June 23rd. We will be talking about Malcolm Bridge Road, but also any other subjects that you'd like to talk about at that time will be fine with us. With that, we'll
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much for attending.